Hey there. A while ago I did a video on my top 10 watchouts for buying property in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and today I'm going to do a follow-up on number 6, which is neighbors. And there's not a whole lot to talk about here, but the gist of it is that you want to make sure when you're buying property that you know what's around you, what's down the street, if there's any factories or junkyards or gun clubs or anything like that. So you want to make sure you research that, as well as drive around the area on the weekend, on the weekdays, and make sure you know what's going on in the area. So I do have a property here that I'm going to show you, and it is the first week of February, and there is definitely an uptick in the amount of new listings. There's quite a few today when I come in. So if you're actively looking, definitely keep an eye on it because they're adding quite a few. There's a lot more this week than there was last week. So I want to look at this one here. So there is a lot of 11 acres in Rock, Michigan, which is in the center here for $62,500, which isn't too bad. This is a campsite currently, but it does have electric set up, has a driveway set up, campfire, wooded, got some clearing, looks like they've been mowing. It's pretty nice. It's on the small side of acreage, only 11 acres, but this is kind of the thing that we were looking for when we bought our property in the UP. It's fairly remote, but yet you still have internet and electric and all that kind of thing available. So this is a nice one. A lot of the basics are done for you, which will save you a lot of hassle. You don't have to worry about getting permits and all that. So the only thing I don't like about this one is it is on an M road. So if you ride four-wheelers, you can't ride on an M road, so know that. This has only been listed 3 days. And let's look at the details here. So it's 11 acres. It has a 40-foot well with a hand pump and electric pump. 200 amp underground electric, apple trees, rhubarb, deer blind, a camper, so it sounds like it's coming with a camper, a culvert, fifth wheel, truck. Are they selling the truck with a hitch? 10 by 20 portable garage. It has a creek. I like that they said crick and not creek. It's pretty funny. So the creek is dry in summer and flows in rainy fall and spring. Plowed year-round road on M35. Garbage internet cable. So this is like perfect for somebody that works from home and needs to have utilities. So when I talk about neighbors and watching properties, it's like the only thing with this one I don't like is where it is. And so in this one, it looks like this appears to be like the campsite, and there's like a lot of roads. So in this case, the roads are your neighbors, and this apparently is a train track. So the train track would be your neighbor. Not ideal. So there's like a road, a train track, and a road. Not great. So then here it looks like there's a house pretty close behind, which I mean, sure, you can build and put it somewhere else apparently, but I'm not sure where like the lines are for this one. It shows this person's space, but it doesn't really show this outline of where the 11 acres is. But then when you look across the street, it's like, what is this, right? Like, I don't know what this is. Is this a business? Like, what's going on over here? Are they noisy? I don't know. I'm not familiar with this area, but you definitely want to drive by and check this out. I would check it out on a weekday and on a weekend and make sure like what's going on with traffic. And then on the north side, there's something over here also that could possibly be a business. There's a lot of buildings, a definitely well-used road going back to whatever this is. So while this property looks great, there's some questionable things with it, like with the neighbors, with what's going on close by. A couple final thoughts on this property here. When you look at the details that list their taxes, know that Michigan's taxes are funny and you're not most likely going to pay what they're paying. So I'll put a link to the tool that you can use to estimate Michigan property taxes after you buy a property. Also note that it does say cable electric available, water connected. And also I wanted to show you that so somebody bought this in 22 for $25,000, and then they listed it in February of 2023. This is most likely the time they had the utilities put in because utilities cost money, and this would definitely bump the property up. So they tried to sell it in February of 23, and it looks like they only did that for a month, and they took it off the market. And then now they're listing it again in February of 25 for $62,500. Okay, and I also wanted to point out this is Maple Ridge Township, and this is in Delta County. So when I looked that up, there's a Delta County, Michigan website that has a Maple Ridge Township page in there. I'll put a link to this as well. But they do have, it looks like this county takes the townships take the county ordinances, it seems like, because when I go here, I am getting the zoning ordinance, but it comes up as Delta County. Yeah, there are a couple townships in Michigan that don't have zoning, but this is not one of them. So I would definitely call and find out what the zoning is for this parcel. You can call the zoning office with this address and ask, and then you'll be able to look and read what specific zone you're in, what district it is, because just because they have a camper on the property right now doesn't mean that you can live in the camper like all summer or whatever. So a lot of townships have a stipulation where you're allowed to be in a camper long term if you're building, and if you're not building, then they may not let you. So just because there's a camper there now doesn't mean you can have a camper there. Sometimes it's limited to so many days a year, or you have to actively be building. So it's definitely something to know about the property. If you're interested in this one, definitely call the zoning office with the address, because I don't see the parcel number listed, but they can find that for you and just find out what exactly is going on. Sometimes you're allowed to be there year-round without stipulation. Sometimes you have to get a permit to be there, and you can only be there a certain number of days a year. And then sometimes you have to actively have a building permit in place to have a camper there, because they only let you have a camper if you're building. So that is definitely something to know before you're buying a property. All right, and this is my Garmin VV mapping program where I can see the trails. So this is the ORV trail. So that property is right in this area. So you can ride on this old M35 road with ORVs, which is nice because let me zoom out. It only goes so far this way, but it looks like you can cut across. Oh, that kind of dead ends too. maybe you can go west. And I'm looking for the yellow trails. So there's a little bit of a trail here. So it looks like maybe with a little bit of distance you can get to an actual Michigan ORV trail, which is nice. And then I'll switch to snowmobile. So you're kind of in a dead zone a little bit for trails. The snowmobile trail is similar to where the ORV trail is. So doable, but you're definitely not on the trail. So a few days ago I did a review on a house that had cougars possibly living in it, and I wanted to see if it's still listed. They had a cutoff of offers by February 3rd, and today is the 4th. So it was this one, this house on the hill with there's the cougar prints. So yeah, pending. So they must have received offers that they liked, and it is now pending. So that was a good deal. A home with cougars, 41 acres for $75,000 in the Ontonagon kind of area. It's right in here. Yeah, so that's cool. I wish them luck with their cougars. All right, that's all I had today. Make sure to check your neighbors before you buy property. That's what I had. Thanks. Bye.